Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Forrest Wample here. Welcome back to another live stream. Second stream of the night. As you know, earlier today I was doing some watching Royal Rumble matches, plus like the Royal Rumble event matches, plus the Royal Rumble matches themselves. Hey, Carlos, how you doing today? So, I did. Oh, Emma Shunzo, how you doing tonight? I'm doing pretty good. How you doing? So, as you can tell from the title, well, I should do a little backstory. Earlier, I did a community post poll saying, okay, what do you guys want me to do? You want to watch more Rumble or more Reddit? Only three people voted before I did this. And all three people voted for Reddit. Apparently, I wanted to go with the Rumble matches. I was more focusing on them than I was on them. So yeah, we're doing Reddit stories. So for the first time, for the people who are here doing the stream, here watching this kind of stream for the first time, how it basically is I'm watching Reddit story videos, and whether they be Reddit stories or Ask Reddit videos, it's still Reddit. Okay, so yeah. So after a story has been said, I may or may not get my 2 cents on it. Depends on the situation. With that being said, let's go ahead and look for our first Reddit video. And I want to pick the good ones, not something that seems like it's going to be questionable. I do want to give the warning, and I will give this warning every so often, that some of these stories may be potentially 18 plus. You have been warned. So if you are a minor, yeah, probably not the best idea to be watching this kind of video. So yeah. Alright, so let's take a look here. Trying to find a good story for us to, a good potential video. Why am I getting all these weird / potentially not so good videos that might cost me my YouTube channel? Let's see here. Oh, this is from 9 hours ago. This is malicious compliance. Christmas Karen got what she deserved. Let's hear it.
Today we've got a great malicious compliance story against somebody that tried to make another person feel incompetent. We'll get to that in a bit, but first, if I don't like it, I can find another job? Okay. I think this qualifies. I worked at a small shop serving as an electrical apprenticeship. Myself and the shop manager had a few run-ins, and I assume he disliked me as much as I disliked him. I had refused to do a job and told him he didn't pay me enough. It was at the stockyards, and I was expected to put on a set of waders, crawl down into a raw fat reclamation tank, and replace a submersible pump. Wasn't going to happen. Another time, he wanted me to lie to a customer to make an issue they were having sound like it wasn't our fault. I refused and told him if he wanted to lie about it, he was going to have to drive out to the job site and do it himself. He told me to keep my mouth shut, and did come out. I think the only
Yeah, typical asshole boss. They want you to do things, and then they want to complain because you're not doing what they asked you to do, when it makes sense why you don't do it.
He didn't fire me was I was by far one of the most efficient and versatile employees. This fact had me questioning how much I was getting out of this apprenticeship, and was passively looking around for another shop to apprentice at. My wage scale was structured, and I got regular raises, bringing me closer to journeyman's level over my time as an apprentice. So I had time to find someone that would sign up to complete my apprenticeship, as well as want to hire me. One of our better journeymen had gone to another shop and had introduced me to the owners. We talked about what it would take to get me to move. Things were progressing, but nothing committed to at that point. Cue the malicious compliance. It's my evaluation and raise time. My manager calls me up to the conference room and explains that due to my performance and the shop being in a slow period, he was not going to give me the 25 cents an hour raise as my contract said, but was going to give me $1 more an hour once I became a journeyman.
This story sounds awfully familiar. I feel like the person that I was talking about the other day, I think she actually read this story too, because it sounds very similar to what I remember.
And I told him if I can't trust you for a quarter, why would I believe the dollar? The argument ended in him telling me, if you don't like it, you can always quit. Oh, really? I picked up the conference room phone on the table in front of us and called the shop I'd been talking with. I asked the owner if I brought my tools over today, would I have a job? After a quick and uncomfortable discussion with his partner, he said yes. I informed my manager I resigned effective now. I loaded up my tools, punched out.
This is actually the second time I heard this story because another person read this story. One of my friends on YouTube who did a video on Reddit stories herself read this story too. I remember this. If I find her video, I'll play it, and you guys can tell me if I got it wrong or not. But I'm pretty sure I got it right.
And went straight to work that afternoon. I think if you're a hard worker and you're a good...
You know, I feel... See, here's the thing. The best way to do a good job is to do it effectively, accurately, and to have fun while doing it. If you are not having a good time while doing your job, something has to be wrong with it. Something. So... yeah. Bosses were assholes, though. Definitely assholes. Next story.
Oh, that said, our next story is This Stuff's Gonna Cease. This happened about 4 years ago, and I've been itching to share it here recently. I used to work for Big Brown as a delivery driver. At the time, I still was a cover driver, which is essentially a full-time driver without a permanent route. Every day, you'd go in not knowing what part of the city you'd be delivering to. It sucked. I had started to get dispatched to a pretty nice area regularly, since the regular driver was out for a few months, and felt like I was hitting my groove. I could tell with pretty decent accuracy how long my day would be, just by looking at the stop count, and the route was just outside of the city in what we all considered the countryside. So it was beautiful too. I was really starting to enjoy it. Then in comes Sizzle Burger. Not his actual name, but it sounds so similar that we called him that. Sizzle was a cover driver like me, but he had about a year of seniority on me. That meant that he was allowed to choose which route he wanted to take, based on who ranked lower than him. The rules about this were always weird, like when I would try to do it, management would push back and say that I wasn't allowed even though it's in our contract. Sizzle was also very full of himself. He looked like a wannabe mob boss from The Sopranos. And whenever he was mad about his route, he would file a grievance and come out and say, "This crap's gonna cease." We didn't get along since he was, a complete jerk to everyone.
Oh, so here's the time where it's my way or the highway, motherfucker.
Finally comes when Sizzle decides he doesn't like that I'm running the cushy route, and he's tired of the one right next to it, which really wasn't that bad. I'd looked at the dispatch list and I did a little time calculation, so I knew that I could finish his route faster than I could the cushy route. So I patiently complied and went to work. It's getting towards the end of the day. I had maybe 5 stops left when I get a call from my supervisor. They say, "Hey OP, you're really not gonna like this, but I need you to go take 30 stops off Sizzleburger because he has 70 stops left." Gotta be kidding me. You know he bumped me from that route this morning? They say, I know, he's been on our last nerve with the grievances, so just go take the stops, and I promise you won't get bumped by him again. I knew he must have gone out on the route and at some point realized that he'd picked the worst route for the day based on stop count. But to have 70 stops left at around 7 o'clock meant that he'd been sitting on his butt for half the day. But again, I complied and went up to meet with Sizzle. I pull up to his truck, butt to butt, and open the door. Immediately, I'm hit with a smell like walking into a bar at 2 a.m. when all the beer is drying up on the floor. I look at
oh no, 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 no. Oh shit. The man is drunk. Hey Colin, how you doing? But this man is drunk. I mean, heck, I can even read the text on here. Will you be on later to talk? Maybe it depends on how long I may want to do this stream. I don't know. Wait, what time is it anyway? Actually, hold on a second. Let me see. Let me see. It's about 10:30. Okay, how you? I'm doing pretty good. I might be on tonight on the mobile app. Maybe. We shall see. But yeah, dude, this guy is definitely drunk. When you can smell, when you can smell alcohol, when you have a smell that basically says, yeah, yeah, when you got a man that's so drunk that you can actually be met with this, literally the part that I just stopped at, immediately I'm hit with the smell like walking into a bar at 2 a.m. when all the beer is drying up on the floor. This dude gotta be intoxicated as fuck. Dude, this guy gotta be like, dude, dude, this dude gotta be like fucking, dude, this dude really, honest to God truth, has to be like 10 times over the legal limit if he's that drunk off the alcohol. Seriously. And I'm doing pretty good today, thank you for asking.
And he's obviously drunk, an alcoholic drunk. Like, he thinks he can hide it, but his eyes were so bloodshot it was just pathetic. I say nothing while he tries to play down the fact that I'm helping him on the route he bumped me from. I take my boxes and leave. If this was another job, I might not feel so passionate about this, but as a truck driver, I have zero tolerance for anyone getting behind the wheel intoxicated, especially a death machine like those box trucks.
Yeah, you know, I remember how I watched a few of these videos of truck drivers telling some stories of how they basically kicked people, like they kicked the person they were trying to train off their truck for one reason or another. This has got to be the biggest reason I've ever heard of somebody potentially getting fired from their job for being so recklessly stupid that they thought it was a good idea to drink beer. So much alcohol that they're so drunk that Jesus, bro, this dude really, and I'm not saying it jokingly, this dude got a real problem.
After I left, I called my buddy who was another driver with a lot of seniority and asked what I should do. He says he'll call the supervisor and that I should finish the stops I had. About 10 minutes later, I get a call from the supervisor again. They say, hey, we know what's going on, and I just wanted to let you know Sizzleburger will no longer be working for us. We've been waiting for actual proof that he's been drinking on the job, and you just gave it to us. So, good job. And we're sending 2 more guys to split up the route. In his own words, this crap's gonna cease. In a way, I kind of feel bad for the guy. I mean, I think you're...
You know, here's the issue. Like, what caused him to think that it was a good idea to drink? Like, to drink on the job to the point to where you're basically not able to do the work that you can't even do the route that you're assigned to do. And it's caused, as has been said on Thomas the Tank Engine, and I know this because I've seen the show many times when my niece and nephew were younger, this caused confusion and delay. Now the guy is fired. Hopefully, unless he's one of those, oh, I wasn't drunk, what? I wasn't drunk, you got me confused with someone. If he's that type of person, he's a lost cause. But if he realizes that he has a drinking problem, hopefully, like, if you want to drink, do it responsibly. Come on, it's not that hard. Like, or if you know you can't withstand alcohol too much, don't drink it. Seriously, just either drink responsibly or don't drink it at all. Seriously. And if you drink too much of it, just stop it. Get some help. I know that sounds like the meme, but I wasn't trying to do that. I'm being serious when I say that. Alright, third story.
Our next story is, want me to be on the job by 8:30? Okay. This takes place over the past 2 months, and without going into too many details about my work,
Still going is in the chat. Somebody play his theme song. Anyway. Anyway.
my story. I work in a large metro city on a team that does maintenance on our infrastructure, keeping our plant running and keeping our customer services running. We all have a company truck that we take home every day and start our days at 7:30 every morning, 5 days a week. Now, I live the furthest from our service area, 45 minutes to an hour drive without traffic, and there's always traffic. That being said, some days it takes me 2.5 hours to get to my first job in the mornings. My supervisor knows this and was okay with it, as long as I was en route to my first job by 7:30.
Okay.
Then we had a restructuring of the big bosses. They wanted us on our first job by 8:30. I emailed my supervisor about it, and he assured me that I was fine, and he was aware of my drive time in. A few weeks pass, and he tells me that the new big bosses aren't happy about my arrival times in the mornings, and that I need to leave earlier.
Of
I asked him
course
to email that to me so I can remember to set my alarm earlier. I really asked for it emailed to me so I'd have documentation. He does.
Okay.
Now I'm kind of pissed because I don't want to have to get up earlier and not get paid to drive into...
You know, I find it hilarious how he can't say something like, you know, they're a dick or, you know, cussing, but yet here they have, I'm kind of ticked as the text, but he says, now I'm pissed. What sounds more kid friendly? Why couldn't he just say, well, now I'm angry? Anyway.
area, so I started looking into our policies. Our policy on time recording is pretty
Come on, man.
pissed because I don't want to have to get up earlier and not get paid to drive into our area, so I started looking into our policies. Our policy on time recording is pretty strict and states if we're operating company equipment, my truck, we are working. So I started
Okay.
leaving at 6 every morning, giving me ample time to get to my first job by 8:30, and starting my time as soon as I started my truck, giving me an hour and a half of overtime every day. Now, I knew something was going to be said about this, and when my supervisor showed up on me, asking me why I was clocking that overtime every morning before my shift, I handed him his email telling me to leave earlier, and the attendance policy with the section highlighted. He looks up to me, grinning from ear to ear, and compliments me on finding a loophole in the big boss's new rule. I haven't had another thing said to me about my overtime, or anything else about me not being on the job by 8:30. I'm still not happy about waking up earlier, but the 7.5 hours of overtime a week is nice. I mean, yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, you know, overtime is generally, if my knowledge is correct, it's about 1.5 times more than what you normally get paid. So yeah, Gotta love it when when an employee is smart enough to find loopholes in the contract that they sign to work with the company and show off. Yeah, well, here's proof of this, and then they're like, "Well, shit, we can't say. We want to say something, but we can't say anything because he found a loophole. Damn it!" Right? That's what it's. That's what it seems like. Okay, thank you. All right, next story.
This next story is Christmas Karen wants boneless chicken breast. This
Excuse me while I think of the character Marcy from Married with Children and how Al Bundy would occasionally poke fun at her because of her breasts. Because he even calls her a chicken. Okay? If he's not calling her a chicken, he's poking fun at the fact that, to him, she had she has real small breasts. And when he's not poking fun about her her chest size, he's calling her a chicken. Unless he does, but he does occasionally do both. I know this because I've seen the show, and I think it's kind of funny in itself. Even if it's the type of show that would get canceled, not even like maybe after 4 episodes of the show coming out.
few years back, but working this holiday season, I retold the story to coworkers and felt this was a good place to post.
So,
To preface,
oh,
I'm a career butcher and at the time was working for
ooh, bought your which belt did you get? And I'm guessing you got it on Black Friday. I'm just taking a seriously wild ass guess. I got the new version of the United States Championship. Not bad. Not bad, not bad, not bad.
Food Hole. If anyone isn't familiar, the meat department becomes crazy
Oh, that's
and wants boneless chicken breast. This was a few years back, but working this holiday season, I retold the story to coworkers and felt this was a good place to post. To prep
let's see, I was gonna get the old one, but this one is starting to grow on me, and yes, I did, lol. That was just a joke. I swear to God. I want to say something to this man. He's saying that the new version of the United States belt is growing on him. Jokingly saying this, because I know this man, he knows where I'm probably going with this. I swear to God, if this man tells me that Roman Reigns starts scoring on him, I'm going to be pinching myself. Because, dude, we're talking to the man that hated, that when I last spoke to him, hated, before, he started coming back. This man hated him with a fucking passion. Wait, no, you didn't. What? I mean, I won't lie. I enjoy his matches. There you go. And promo. Oh, you gotta be good. Still being given that Adam Cole treatment, though. Man is still being given that Adam Cole treatment, though. Well, actually, I can't really say Hulk Hogan because, Hogan's reign lasted 4 years and his is only like half of that. So I'm going to say Adam Cole because it's lasted about as long. It got a little bit more so. Just saying.
I'm a career butcher, and at the time was working for the Food Hole. If anyone isn't familiar, the meat department becomes crazy around November and doesn't abate until after Christmas. We took holiday orders in person then, now mostly all online unless they're odd. As you might imagine, the orders are usually for standing rib roasts, tenderloins, hams, turkey.
What? He's more entertaining than all of AEW LMFAO. Oh! Wow, that is probably the best compliment I've ever seen you give him. you know, dude, how much have you changed since I last talked to you? Like, before you came back recently, how much have you changed, bruh? Jeez. Yeah, we're definitely gonna be talking after the stream. At this point. Because I'm curious to see how much has changed with this man.
And ducks and geese. They really add up. And for my boss, sorting all the paper orders is a nightmare. Enter Karen. I would like to place a holiday order. I get the relevant info and say, cool, what would you like on the 24th? She says 1 pound of boneless chicken breast. I said, oh, no problem. You actually don't need to order that. We have plenty of regular chicken, steaks, and burger. You only need to place an order for roasts, etc. She said, I had to wait forever last year. This year, I don't want to wait, so I'll order it. I say, we'll have 2 lines, so if you're coming to just get regular items, you won't need to wait in the order line. She says, but I want to make sure. At this point, I was already way done, so I decided I would comply. Maliciously. I took her order, and then proceeded to inform every single person in my department
Oh yeah, by not being oozy enough, you basically mean like, well, he's not technically part of the family, so yeah.
Situation and the plan. The day of, she came up, told the guy at the counter she wanted chicken breast. Having been warned by me, he asked, did you pre-order it? She says yes. Coworker says, okay, let me go search through the sheet to find your order. She says, you can just grab it from the case. They say, no, we already have yours put away. I'll find it. I wouldn't want it to get lost in the cooler and go bad over Christmas. Karen, frustrated, says, okay. Coworker goes to find our order book, searches through and finds her name and says, okay, I found you on the list. Now I just have to find your order. Coworker enters cooler, and as trying to find a pack of chicken breasts in a cooler full of roasts is like trying to find a needle in a haystack, it took him about 15 minutes. At multiple points through the ordeal, other employees greeted her. She tried to get them to get her chicken breast, and they all told her, because I'd warned them, that she had to wait for the ones specifically put aside for her. I estimate that she waited almost 30 minutes, including line time, to get to our counter. I'm not gonna lie though, I kind of don't blame her. I think,
Yeah, I agree. Like, was this really necessary? Like, was it really necessary to do this to her? I really don't think so. Come on, now. This is literally people having too much fun in their, with their positions of, well, we can do this. I mean, we're not, they're basically doing things, and it's like, guys, she's just wanting her order. Why do you have to torment her like this for absolutely no reason? At the same time, she did kind of get on their nerves. So I can kind of see why they're wanting to get on her nerves. But that's kind of stepping to a level, stepping to her level, so yeah, just treat her like business as usual and don't try to be special with her. Don't give her the negative special treatment. Just don't.
he's being a little
Alright, and final story of this video.
for that. This next story is funny. I thought I was incompetent. One of my previous jobs was a very toxic workplace because the CEO was an absolute nut job, micromanaged everyone, and always wanted perfection. My role was twofold and therefore required me to work very closely with him a big chunk of the time. I didn't mind the perfection bit, as I'm a perfectionist myself, very meticulous, and have a keen eye on detail. It's the micromanaging part I couldn't stand. This one time we had a big media event where we were launching a new partnership. Having extensive experience with local media and knowing the requirements in terms of branding placement, etc., I knew what was needed for such an event, so I set up and even asked some of my media pals to confirm whether it was all visible in cameras. All was in order, everyone was happy. Anyways, my boss comes in a whole hour earlier than expected and decides to micromanage and take setup matters into his own hands. I had stepped aside to welcome some guests, so imagine my shock when I came back to find them rearranging everything while screaming in front of everyone that we were incompetent and hadn't done it right. "What did I hire you for if I'm going to end up doing it myself?" is a common phrase he used all the time. I tried to explain the reasoning behind the placement, but he wouldn't let me get a word in. He then proceeded to tell me to leave everything as he had said it and let the other team deal with the rest of the event. I complied and removed myself from the event altogether. Since I was so incompetent, I went to stand at the back and didn't help out again for the remainder of the event, as per his request. Fast forward to when the coverage came out and everyone was asking why our branding wasn't visible, I told them all to take it up with my boss directly. See, I know from working closely with him that he doesn't like embarrassment and will do literally anything to avoid it. So having our shareholders, other high-profile stakeholders, and media asking him directly about this was a very embarrassing situation for him. Let's just say that day, he would only show up to events right at the start time. He also told me to draft a policy that everyone company-wide had to follow, including him. When I finally had enough and quit, he said that he was sad to be losing such great talent. Funny, I thought I was incompetent. I can only imagine how frustrating.
Gotta love bosses that be like that, though. Because they make it so easy to leave a job. They make it so easy to leave a job, and it's like, wait, where y'all going? And it's like, well, we're getting the hell out of here. Why? I don't know, maybe because you thought you know everything and we know absolutely nothing. So, of course, we're gonna be acting like this with you. Ding dong. Let's see what else we got here.
I've met a lot of D.
Yeah, we're not looking at that. What else do we got here? Oh yeah, this is from an hour ago. What's this?
I didn't want to say much about this when Damar was unconscious. Mostly because I didn't want to speculate what was going to happen. It was a never-changing situation. And technically still is.
Well, I've already discussed how I feel about it. I did see another you see, I did see that he was doing better. I did see a news video shortly before I shortly before I went live again. I for one am happy to see that he's doing good right now. He's slowly getting better. That's the most important aspect of it. Oh jeez, the Reddit 50/50 challenge. There was this one internet challenge that I didn't really get too involved in. But what happened was there was this video. There's this video challenge from this one website and I heard about it from a video on YouTube. But what it was basically like where you were going from tame to you were going from real tame to real messed up type of stuff that was going down. I am not going to give the name of it because I really don't want anybody else to try to do the challenge. Uh, yeah, so, excuse me. So yeah, just don't watch it. Just don't try it ever. You may just go away with it. Like, why did I watch this? That's what it'd be like. Yeah, that's what it would really be like. Hmm. Let's see what else we got. What's the worst way to reject a girl? You just leave her standing on the altar. Yeah. Oh yeah, I did see that Charlotte Flair came back too, but honestly, who really, who honestly wanted to see Charlotte Flair back? Maybe some people did, but yeah. What else do we got here? What else? What else? What else? Hmm. Thankfully, I always have the watch it again section here. Hmm. Here we go when you got it under watch it again. Hmm. Oh, here we go. Smoothest comeback line that'll work 99%. Let's see this. I always love
What's one
comebacks.
comeback you've used in life that was so smooth you still grin when you think back on it? Mine was during a breakup argument. In her fit of anger, she shouted at me, "I faked every single orgasm I had with you." To which I replied, "I was too busy enjoying my own to notice." The look of rage on her face at that was worth having her throw my PlayStation at me. I'm usually a sap, but I...
Look. How much you want to bet? The whole argument started because of the PlayStation. And then it went to faking orgasms. And now he's like, well, I was too busy doing my own to notice. And it's like she just found an excuse to throw the PlayStation at the guy because of, so she had the excuse. And so she was like, you son of a bitch. Just throws it right at him.
Sitting in a coffee shop with some friends, plus a few people I didn't know. The girl in the group started talking about the types of guys they are into. This girl I just met said, "I don't know what it is, but I really like when guys are D's to me." And before she could finish her next sentence, I said, "Holy crap, are you still talking?" The girl looked at me like complete shock, but the girl gave me a grin of approval.
Yo! Hey, yo! What the hell was that? I just seen something like moved down on my screen. But I only did. Yo, that's cool. Dude, like, she's like, yeah, I like dudes that are dicks to me. And so the dude acts like a dick to her. And everybody's like, dude, why you acting like a dick to her? And she's like, I like you. That's the funniest part.
I was conversing with a friend about video games in the school cafeteria when a loud, overweight girl starts loudly talking about how old guys who play video games are nerds.
Are we though? Are we really nerds though? Like, so hold on a second here. Hold on a second here. So she says all guys that play video games are nerds. What are girls that what do you call the girls that play video games? Fake girls? Fake gamers? Because I've seen people do that. Or do you just don't believe they exist? But as if as if the people that I thanked in 20 for my for helping make my 2022 a lot better than it probably would have been, And I'll come back to hear her fake. Alright. Okay, so Kyler, for context, this.
I was conversing with a friend about video games in the school cafeteria when a loud, overweight girl starts loudly talking about how old guys who play video games are nerds.
In which I said, are we now? And then I was like, so what did she call girl gamers? Like, does she call them, fake girls? Or does she call them fake gamers? Or does she just believe they don't exist? Because, as if the list of people that I've thanked on my YouTube channel, on my YouTube community post, as if the people that I thanked themselves are not girl gamers. I even had a friend of mine, Winsome, do a video basically revolving around girl gamers. And there was this moment where this one dude pretty much used that one argument there that I said about how girl gamers don't exist. You would probably just hide just to stand there and look pretty. And then so then she's like, oh, okay. Well, some dude's like, well, okay, if she's a fake gamer, why not play a game of Smash Brothers? If she's a fake gamer, like you said, it should be no problem for you, right? And so he accepts the challenge, and he just gets his ass kicked. Oh, they certainly do have many stories with him. So, yeah. Long story short, the guy gamer got his ass beat by the girl gamer. Yeah, a few of which you'll hear tonight. Oh, okay, alright. Interesting, okay. I look forward to it. Back to the comebacks.
Look and say, I guess I'm a nerd then. She rolls her eyes and says, tell me something I don't know, freak. Off the top of my head, I reply, salads taste good. I was at a bar at a table with some friends. A group of...
I get the comeback. The comeback is because she was overweight. He even says so, that she was overweight. And some are good or some are bad, some are PG guidelines, spicy, LMFAO. Pretty much, yeah, that's how it is sometimes. I, for one, have some comeback stories of my own that I'd like to share with everybody after the video. Because I have three... The funny part is, all three comeback stories revolve around one same person. It's absolutely hilarious.
Looked to be in their early 50s, sitting at a nearby table completely hammered, which normally wouldn't be an issue. Only these ladies were literally gutting younger women with insults as they passed by, trying to see how many they could make cry. After about an hour or so of this happening, these women started looking for men to take home. I know this because they were nice enough to announce it out loud to the entire bar every few minutes. One of the women, a blonde that happened to be the ringleader of this group, kept looking over at me, trying to capture my attention. Not being overly attracted to obnoxious, I ignore this woman, which only makes it worse and only makes her more angry. So she gets up and walks over to our table. Tells me that she's going to the bathroom and that I better be there when she returns because I'm going home with her. To which I say it's not happening. But she ignores me and makes her way to the bathroom. On her way back, she walks past me and loudly exclaims, "Do," so everyone at her table and my table can hear. To which I respond, "Oh, Mom, you know how you get after 2 drinks." She turned around, and I've rarely seen a woman so peed off. She started screaming something I couldn't make out, which attracted the bouncer, who promptly kicked her out. Everyone clapped, and I drank the rest of the night for free. TLD. Called a cougar a mother, she got bound.
Oh, damn. Wow, bruh. That's one way to get a cougar off your back. Call it mama. Just call them mother. Don't even say it. Don't say it in a like. Don't say mother, mama, or mommy in a what's the word I'm looking for? In a like where you want to see her be all seductive like. Say it more like, oh mom, you know what is you can't. You know what happens when you take more than one drink, and then it should just be like. You know, just looking back and just being like, bah.
I was witness to a murder in which I was one of the people that they tried to kill. Years later, after it happened, I get a call I needed to testify as they had caught the a-holes. After several minutes of questioning, the DA asked me what I was thinking after they shot at me. Thinking to myself how you answer a blatantly obvious and ridiculous question, the only response I could come up with was, crap. The entire court started laughing.
I can already imagine him saying it. Well, son, you gave the report of what happened. Now, can you testify in the court what was going through your head at the time? Well, crap. I could imagine him actually saying that too. Well, crap. Well, crap.
And not only every juror, but the DA defense attorney and the judge.
Wow.
Even the stenographer was laughing so hard she stopped typing. I'm fairly certain I'll never get another zinger like that again. Beautiful. Also, congrats on not being murdered. I used to work at this pizza joint that would stay open late on the weekends to hit the bar crowd. The pizza was New York style, so 18-inch pie was standard and slices were as big as your face. A pair of guys came in and ordered a slice each of the Meat Lovers pizza, which came out to like $4.75 a slice. Now, I get that one might find this pizza to be pricey, but the amount of toppings we put on it made up for that, so I thought. These guys began throwing a fit about it.
You know, the funny part is, I know of a pizza place that does this where their pizza is kind of expensive, but man, do they overcompensate with the toppings. I would know this because this place was like $11, like somewhere between $8 to $11 for a small pizza. But this pizza was so filled to the brim, like literally, crazy amount of toppings all over the pizza. This place was so expensive, but they were so generous with the toppings. I'm like, honestly, Dad, the toppings make it worth it. They really did.
Defended ourselves, saying that we didn't set the prices and we're sorry, but that's how it is. We have to eat too. One of the guys looks at my coworker who is a big overweight and goes, well, you look like you're eating well, pays for the slice and sits down to eat it. 5 minutes later, I walk out with a slice for a different customer who asked to have his slice warmed in the oven. And as I turn around to go back behind the counter, these two guys are standing right in front of me and get all up in my face. The one guy from before goes, we're going to leave our garbage on the table for your ass to clean up because your pizza is too expensive. I looked him right in the eyes and said, you come rolling in here wearing your Dolce & Gabbana BS sunglasses, ready to pay $8 for a shot of pucker, and you're going to complain about $5 pizza? Get the F out of my restaurant. As I said that, the guy looks around the whole restaurant that is now staring at us and starts the whole BS, and I go, what the F is your problem? You gonna effing leak, a-hole? Get the F out. And all of a sudden, the whole restaurant erupted into a bunch of, ooh, damn, crap. And people were clapping. It was amazing. The owner always told the guys running the bar shift that they could say and do whatever they needed to.
Next time, just order the damn pizza, pay for it, and shut the fuck up. Enough said.
To get someone to leave that was being rude or disorderly. I took that privilege very seriously. Had about 13 shots of tequila at my mother's birthday party. A man that was interested in her showed up. He was the stereotypical redneck, very narrow-minded, conservative Republican, judgmental, stubbornly and willfully ignorant, falsely quoted the Bible, etc. Anyway, he made...
We're not going to discuss that here. We don't allow politics in this house.
sake of talking to me. He kept boasting about how he's a proud redneck, but tried to tell me that there were classy rednecks and trashy breeds. My response was, oh, I wonder what's the difference between the two. Do the classy rednecks frame their Confederate flag instead of using them as curtains? It was a fantastic night. I'm normally a very polite girl. I was in middle school. This one guy, let's call him Ben, was bullying the fat kid in my grade in the locker room after our gym period, while everyone was changing. Let's call the chubby guy Chris. What was strange was this bully was smaller than Chris, but still managed to push him around and make him feel like crap. At one point, he cornered Chris and just kept acting like he was about to take a swing at him, just waiting for Chris to wince or flinch. I was really annoyed at how little of a F everyone was giving about this, so I went to the bully who was my size and just pushed him against the wall. He punched me on my arm and said, F off, Hindu guru, your mother is a C. Honestly, I don't know how I thought of this, but I almost immediately responded saying, tell your mom to stop changing her lipstick. My D is turning rainbow. Because we were in middle school, everyone just went, oh. Ben just shut his A up and went back to his locker. Haven't had a smooth comeback since. Not mine, but my sister.
Wow. Damn. Middle school and you coming with that comeback? Damn. 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 I'm thinking of Chucky's Insult Emporium now from that.
She was about 4 and wanting to play kitchen in her room. She grabbed some cereal boxes from the kitchen and put them in her room. My mother, in trying to explain why it wasn't acceptable, said, the cereal will bring ants. Do you want ants in your room? My sister, not missing a beat, replied, do you want ants in your kitchen? The story still gets brought up at family gatherings 20 years later.
Wow.
Walking home from high school in the summer, and some fat kid and his friends saw me from across the street. The fat kid yells, you have huge tits, to which I responded, not as big as yours, and gave him a nice little smile and walked away as his friends laughed at him. I work in a supplement store. One night, as I was nearing the end of my shift and getting tired of talking to people, a young guy and his buddy walk in, and the guy decides he's going to be Mr. Funny Man and make jokes about all the products. I hate when people do this because A, the jokes are never funny, and B, I've heard them all before. So after humoring a few somewhat obnoxious quips from him, the guy grabs a fat burner off the shelf and holds it up at me. Ooh, look at this one. Hey, miss, is this going to make me look way better? To which I replied, without missing a beat, I really hope so. His buddy and the other guys in the store just started cracking up. I hadn't meant to sound so B, it just sort of came out that way. My stepdad was having a Christmas dinner/party a few years back for the law firm at the house. One of my stepdad's friends had just been talking crap all night, little comments here and there about me. You could call it teasing. At first I brushed it off because he was drunk, but it got to me after a while. Anyway, we're all eating at the table and he's sitting across from me. His date is at the end of the table, to the right of me. Everyone was talking and somehow the conversation steered towards me, about to make it a long-distance thing with my girl because I was moving for college. So the dude starts talking crap, saying something along the lines of, you're so young to be pee-whipped. When I was your age, I had all sorts of fun, but now I'm old, blah, blah. It was almost awkward. Then the date gently grabs his bicep and says, it's okay, I like my men how I like my wine. And me, without skipping a beat, you like them extra fruity? The whole dinner table, like 15 of us, started laughing hysterically. The guy got mad. He was like, why would you call me that? And I sarcastically said, I don't know, why would I call you that? The dude was very eccentric and a bit flamboyant, so it just bothered him, I guess. So he demanded I answered him, and I was like, chill out, man. So he got more upset and demanded I answer him or else. So I stood up and was like, or else what? He stands up and I fake punch his ass. He totally flinched, so my stepdad starts laughing, tells him to calm down before he gets his panties all up in a bunch. Dude stormed off outside. He was totally embarrassed. They still make fun of him to this day how he got punked by a high school kid. The truth is, I'm usually pretty quick on my feet, but I at least think what I'm going to say. This one just spat out of my mouth. I didn't even realize I said it. It's like, that's what she said. I just say it after anything naturally. It just so happened that it was a perfect setup to what seemed to be a sensitive subject for that dude. Every time I think about it, all I see is success baby in my head. I was at the comedy club and got up to use the bathroom, which was directly behind the stage. As I walked back to my table, the comedian on stage waved at the curtain behind him and said, You know, behind this curtain is a one-way mirror. We were all watching you in there. In an uncharacteristic moment of confidence and wit, I turned to him and said, yes, I heard the applause. Probably going to get buried, but I was at a New Year's party at my uncle's house. One of my uncle's friends was making fun of my dog, a dachshund, and said, you can tell a lot about a man by the size of his dog. I replied with, well, you have a cat. I really liked anime, and so bullies in school often talk.
Yeah, what does that say about a guy with a cat, huh? Good question.
Me with BS about Pokemon. One day in math class, a guy turned around and said, I've caught all the Pokemon. What about you? Me? Really? Have you caught Mia yet?
Alright. Getting back to this.
Him. Of course I have. Best part was, a girl in front of him turned around and said, dude, that's a vaginal disease. He looked so ashamed. I'm getting ready to leave a happy hour and see that my coat is still on the bar stool that I was at earlier, but now is being sat on by the CEO, and my bag was on the bar next to him. So I walk over and somewhat sheepishly, I was pretty low on the totem pole, said, excuse me, to get my coat when I go to grab my bag. He grabs it and says, winking at the CFO, it's cool, we've already been through your bag, there's no money in there. Without even thinking, I said, yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that. They burst out laughing, and after that, I was cool with the CEO. True story. This wasn't particularly brilliant, but it happened recently enough that I can still remember it as I sit here on my ratty futon on a Friday night, drinking and redditing. I was walking my dog in the middle of a really narrow, almost empty sidewalk. I saw an elderly lady approaching me, so I started to get off the side to let her pass as we got closer to each other. She scowled at me and said, excuse me, where are you going? Just to the park over there. Why do you ask? Well, you need to stay the hell on the right when you're walking. It was a beautiful, perfect day, but all she could focus on was the fact that I was walking in a way that was not totally to her liking. I looked at her with the biggest crap-eating grin I could muster and cooed, "Aw, you're so old and angry." And I walked off. I was on a crowded bus with my friend one time when we were confronted by a girl from our high school. She was drunk and began to go off about how my friend had treated her horribly in high school because she used to be fat. She had recently lost a lot of weight and was clearly proud of it because she then went on to say, so that the whole bus heard her, "Well, look at me now. What do you have to say about me now?" To which my friend just replied, "I guess elephants never forget."
Oh.
The entire bus lost it. Her face was priceless. Please leave your story in the comments.
Oh. Damn. Anyway. What else is out here?
What is this?
Come on. Thank you. Jesus. Let's see. Alright. What else is that? Oh, what's the title of this? Okay, so I'm just gonna look at this real quick, alright? So, here's the description of this video. I just looked at this just to see what was going on here. The description of this video says, Kevin Owens had a solution for Roman Reigns' KO problem and challenged the Tribal Chief to a one-on-one matchup at Royal Rumble for the Undisputed Universal title. But the title of the video says, Kevin Owens challenges Roman Reigns to a Royal Rumble match for the Universal title. The way that title is, like the way that title is made, makes it seem like it just seems so much like, well, it looks like Roman Reigns going through another Royal Rumble match in the WWE Universal Undisputed Universal Heavyweight Championship. You know, so yeah.
Doc.
Let's see here.
Worst.
Oh, here we go. Oh wait, you know what? I never bothered.
Gamers of-
actually.
What are the?
Hold on. Actually, I just realized I never said the 3 comeback stories that I had after that video ended. So, like I said, my 3 comeback stories involve the same person, right? So, the 3 stories, like, they're not entirely bad. Like, maybe the second one's probably the most adult one out of the 3 of them. But, yeah, it's kind of fun. They were kind of funny. So, the first comeback story, I had, you know, it was me and my dad and I, as well as my sister who was with us at the time. We all went into my mom's car, which she had at the time. She had the car that my mom had at the time. We went to KFC using her car, and so my dad goes to the drive-through, and my dad so we go to the drive-through thing, you know, when you make the order, right? My dad says to the person, "Yeah, I'd like a $20 fill-up," back when they were actually $20 fill-ups and not a little bit more expensive than they are now. But yeah, "I'd like a $20 fill-up." And then he says, yeah, we'll do this bucket meal. Make sure there's more breasts in there in the bucket." And then he looks at me and he's like, "Because somebody needs some breasts in their life." And I said, so jokingly, I said back to him, "Oh, you talk about the things that you're never gonna be able to touch again for the rest of your life." Dude, my dad and my sister just started laughing hysterically. They were like, "Oh my god!" And my dad even said, "I can't think of anything for that. That was a good comeback, bro. That was the best I've ever had." And then so I didn't really, up until some time ago, I didn't really have another comeback story for, you know, to go along with that. But then one other day, my dad and I went to Home Depot, and I think we were at Home Depot. I could be wrong, but we were going somewhere, and as we were stepping out of the car, my dad says, I know what he meant, by the way, so don't take it like I'm talking about something else, because I know exactly what he meant. But he says, "Man, oh, damn it, I forgot my rubber. So I said, right to him, I'm like, well, somebody ain't getting laid tonight. And he's just like, wait, what? And then he's like, oh, forgetting the rubber, so I'm not gonna be like that. You motherfucker! And he's just like, damn you. He was a little bit mad on that one, but it was kind of funny to me. I just couldn't resist saying that. And then the last comeback story that I have that I remember, my dad and I went to a Giant Eagle, doing some grocery shopping for somebody that he does it with on a bi-weekly basis, I think. Like either a monthly or a bi-weekly basis. And so at one point we were in the store, and at one point my dad's like, well, we just need crackers. You know, like he was talking about crackers. And I didn't say it in the store because, you know, I live in a red state, and generally I've come to think that while both sides have their fair share of people who just can't take jokes, I feel like the red side is more of the can't take the joke unless it's toward the other side type of, you know, group of people. And but I did tell my dad later on, I was like, well, Dad, you want to know something? What? When you said that we were looking for that, you know, you was looking for crackers, right? He said, yeah. I told him there was a thought in my head, but I didn't want to say it in the store because of what kind of state we live in. Yeah. So then I told him I was actually thinking, Dad, look around you. There are crackers everywhere. And he just started laughing again. I mean, to be fair, there were a good amount of white people in the store compared to other ethnicities. So, I mean, was I wrong? No.
Strangest things you've heard over an open mic. This story isn't so much something accidentally heard through a mic, but the other player's reaction to it. We had this mage character in our guild on WoW. Our guild wasn't anything terribly
If you don't know what WoW is, it's World of Warcraft.
just doing Molten Core, Onyxia, and Blackwing Lair before Burning Crusade came out. Back in the good old days, where you had class-specific chat channels to coordinate class-specific jobs 10% of the time, and rag on all the inferior classes 90% of the time. At the time of this story, we were pretty new, and just doing Onyxia regularly sometimes took 2 attempts, had about 30 people, and hadn't downed Ragnaros until a month later. Anyway, this guy had been in the guild since his 50s, and we were happy that he was finally able to start raiding. Pretty fun guy, really sarcastic, really good mage. Never gave his age, but from the way he wrote and carried on a conversation, he seemed like a college or graduate school kid in his mid-20s. Anyway, raids mean Ventrilo, so he joined up in the channel, but he claimed he didn't have a mic, and always responded in chat. To make a long story short, a few months after he started raiding, one evening 2 guys got kicked deep into the whelps and woke like 90% of them up. Rather than, many whelps, handle them! Our guild leader just called us to wipe. Suddenly, this really high-pitched voice comes over Vent and says, forget that, keep going. Nobody else touch the whelps. Everyone else on Vent, shut up. We'll handle this. Mages, grab the whelps and come to the center. Anyone with whelps, come to the center. Group 3 healers, you're with us. Nobody knew who the hell it was. We went with it. Lucky me, I had the talents for a 70% slowing blizzard, so I got to be the main kite. Humbling and terrifying experience of kiting 100 whelps, with some random girls keeping me alive by coordinating half a dozen frost novas. She had us run in circles along the bottom of the lair for 8 minutes, and she freaking pulled it off.
Wow.
It took a minute for us to realize exactly who this chick was. wait a sec, we don't have any girl mages. What the fuck? But everyone was too focused to comment on it. When the raid was finally over, everyone is laughing, the comments start coming out. We thought you were a guy, didn't know you were a girl, etc. I am a guy. He says he's about 12, and more or less the size of a 9-year-old, says, "Fun raid," and logs off pretty quickly after that. You can imagine the mini freakout that followed. The cognitive dissonance was fantastic. About a third of the people there refused to believe the person was so young, and decided that him being a 24-year-old girl lying about her age and gender was far more believable than their friend being that young. This person was very sarcastic and prank-prone, to be fair. Logic along the lines of, a little kid can't fake being that old. They always referred to the guy as her after that. They just couldn't believe the one that saved the raid single-handedly was still in middle school and whose voice hadn't dropped. The guild leader was at least pretty cool with it. Even asked him to help lead some Onyxia runs after that and be a mage lead a month later when our main one left. Kid flat out refused. Said he couldn't take his own voice seriously and wouldn't expect any of the raid leaders to, much less the players. Can't blame him. There were certainly people that mocked him after that, though happy to say it was a small minority. He was a pretty cool kid. Can't pretend it didn't screw with my own perceptions, but figured I liked him and respected him before I knew his age, so nothing really changed between us. But it was just hilarious to hear 30 teenage, college, middle-aged guys and a few girls obsess over learning that they got shown up and rescued by a middle schooler hiding amongst them. At the very least, that was the first moment I really appreciated the internet as the great equalizer. Edit. This started getting more views than I expected, so I cleaned up the writing. I tend to stay...
You know... Oh, that was a good twist. Like, dude. The fact that you have a 12-year-old middle school... That kid is a freaking genius, dude. Seriously. That kid is a genius. Because, dude, how could you have a 12-year-old who, you know, doing this sort of thing, knowing their stuff, and then just, you know, and still be in middle school? That kid is a genius. That kid is gonna go places. Holy crap!
Be quiet when I'm playing online games, but there was a memorable moment that occurred about a year ago while I was playing Team Fortress 2. The honest truth of the matter is that I'm absolutely terrible at most first-person shooters.
I feel that pain.
Lucky y'all managed to score a single kill, maybe two, before being offed by an opponent that I didn't notice. This fact was apparently unforgivable, and a young man who was offended by my skills, or lack thereof, wasted no time or breath in informing me of my failures. "Oh my god," he shouted. "You fucking suck! Seriously, you fucking suck! I can't fucking believe how much you fucking suck!" At first, I ignored the tirade. As time went on, though, I realized that the fellow didn't appear to be able to say anything beyond, "Oh my god, I seriously can't believe how much you fucking suck." His entire vocabulary could seemingly be derived from those 12 words. I took it as a challenge. After fumbling a bit to figure out which key activated my microphone, I responded back with a tirade of my own, while imitating Kermit the Frog's voice.
Oh.
"Hey man," I finally replied, "I heard you got kicked out of the military for being too boring." Don't ask me what I meant by that. It was a nonsensical insult that was intended to provoke the fellow. "Fuck you!" my conversational opponent shouted. It seemed like my verbal jab had done the trick, as there was suddenly a tone of real rage in his voice. "Fuck you, you fucking fuck!
Damn.
Fuck you! You fucking suck! God!" I did my best to suppress a laugh, then switched to imitating Cookie Monster. "Me no think you be having good grasp of English. Me think you only know words like fuck and suck. Me think you should learn words like cookie. Fuck you, you fucking... You are seriously the biggest fucking loser." "Whoa," I replied, still as Cookie Monster. "You use some new words. Now say cookie." The young man's frustration was audibly increasing as he shouted, "Fuck you," back at me. And was that a tinge of fear that I detected? Cookie? I replied. Fucking stop! You're fucking creepy and you fucking suck! There was definitely some sort of mounting discomfort in the guy's voice. Had I discovered, I wondered, the one individual on the planet with a phobia about Muppets? Cookie! Stop! Fuck! Stop fucking around! I went silent for about 5 seconds. Then, starting in a low, ominous growl and moving up into a tone of manic insanity, I went for the kill. As much as I'd love to say that the young man burst into tears, disconnected, and left the world of online gaming forever, the truth of the matter is more mundane. Though not by much. Midway through my long-winded bellow, the guy flipped out and started screaming in near gibberish. The occasional fuck and so on was still audible, but it seems like he had been reduced to offering wordless exclamations while his voice cracked. This went on for the rest of the match. The guy didn't stop until the very end, when he managed to squeak out a final, "Fuck you, you suck," before disconnecting. My team lost the match, but I'd like to think that I won the war. TLDR, I drove a guy bananas by talking about cookies. Oh.
Maybe you should have. Oh. Oh my god. Oh, that's so funny to me. Here's why I just find this so hilarious, dude. The fact of the matter, the fact that this dude literally, this dude really just fucking, this dude just thought it was a good idea to be like, "Hey, you fucking stop, man! You stop! Stop!" You know, basically saying the same old song and dance with the insults. And so this man gets gets so mad when he starts talking like Kermit the Frog, and then, you know, like, "Kermit the Frog," and then he goes like, "Cookie!" It's so funny to me. You know, the funny thing is, I actually had a little bit of an experience one time. I was playing Call of Duty, I think it was World War II, and this one dude, I was not playing on ranked, by the way. I was playing on normal, you know, the non-ranked area of the game, because I'm okay with Call of Duty. Like, it's I'm not the best, but I don't feel like I'm the worst. But I do have my bad games sometimes. And so this one little kid was like, "Freaky Force 9, you suck, man. What's up with that?" In my head, I didn't say nothing, but in my head, I'm like, dude, this is not ranked. Shut up. This is not a ranked game. If it was ranked, I can understand why you're saying that. But as far as I can tell, this is not a ranked match, and you should not be going off on me because it's about having fun, not about winning or losing. At least on Grand Theft Auto, like Grand Theft Auto, at least I wouldn't have to worry about my KD. Although I do have to put up with players who do act like the game, like Grand Theft Auto, is more about their KD ratio than what the actual purpose is. And it's, I don't know, actually helping other people make money. You're helping other players, especially like with the new players, you're helping them make money, right? So there you go. So yeah, but so with those people that act like, "Yeah, man, it's about the kill and death ratio." My initial reaction, I remember one time, I don't know if I said it or if I thought it, but the thing that I was coming up with, whether I said it out loud or not, was, "Well, shit, if you care about your KD so much, go play Call of Duty, unless you suck at that game," which explains why you're over here. You know, that's the gist of it. That's what I believed at the time. To me, if you're so worried about your KD, go play something like Call of Duty or Battlefield or Star Wars Battlefront or whatever games like to, put up a record of your KDs. Don't go on Grand Theft Auto because majority of the people in that game are not going to give two craps about, they're not going to give two craps about, uh, their kill death ratio. They're going to more give two craps about the money that they make. That's what they're going to give a crap about. The KDs, while they may kill people on occasion, while they may kill other players on occasion, at the same time, it's like their main priority is to make money and potentially help other people make money. That's the whole point of the game. Now, whether you choose to play the game or not is up to you, of course, but I'm just saying what I believe the name of the game is what the object of the game is. Anyway.
It goes to user SC2_bench, but I thought this was a really good story given the question. I have legitimately heard someone on my team break up with a girl during a game of Dota on voice. He was using open mic and she was like, "Get off that stupid game, take me out to dinner," in this horribly entitled voice. After around 10 minutes of him being calm and saying things like, "It's okay, baby, just let me finish the game, I will get punished if I leave," and her just not understanding that she issued an ultimatum. "If you don't turn that game off right now and take me to dinner, I am leaving." And he just typed in chat, "Pause please, need to break up with my girlfriend." And everyone lulled and paused, and the dude just went fucking ballistic like, "This is my apartment. You stay here on my dime. I buy you all your food. I give you your money to go shopping. You don't get to issue ultimatums to me when you don't have shit without me. Get the fuck out of my apartment. This relationship is over." Then there was lots of her crying and yelling and bringing up all this shit he did wrong in the past, as if that was going to help, and eventually he just said, "Sorry, relationship is over. I don't care. Bring a truck and one of those douchebag bar guys you love to fuck so much to get your stuff to. See if any of them are willing to clothe, feed, and house and fuck you." Everyone on voice chat just went, "Oh," and we were typing everything that was happening to the enemy team. He eventually got her out of the apartment, and boy, did it sound like the guy had a world of pressure off his shoulders. After the game, I friended him.
Yeah.
We still talk on Steam sometimes. He really ended the relationship and ended up just putting all her shit in a storage locker when she didn't come get it for a week. He has a new girl now who apparently isn't as awful. Rating Kara and WoW.
Wow. Dude. That one time when the guy gets the comeuppance, and when the guy gives the comeuppance to the girl, and all the girl can do is whine and cry and complain about how things did not go her way. And the guy's like, "Well, you chose me to pick you in the game, so I'm going with the game. Bye-bye." You know what? If I ever had a woman that was like that, so entitled that she thinks the world revolves around her, and I was getting so fed up with this shit, I would be I would say something along that line, maybe, and then as soon as I was done, and I would not give her a chance to speak, I would talk, I would say the things to her, but as I would talk, I would be going on the YouTube search bar, looking up the song Bye 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 by NSYNC, and I would just play that song as soon as I was done talking, so that way she doesn't get a chance to speak. And if she did try to speak, I would just be like, "Sorry, can't hear you over the music." Just to annoy the crap out of her. Just to annoy the heck out of her, dude. That sounds a little bit cold for me to do, but still, bro. The long story short, if I'm going to be with a woman, it's going to be with somebody that does not act like that. And if there's a time where they're going to hide that side of them until after we get together, I would just instantly shut that down now, for real though. Because I am not one to have entitled people or people who are just gonna love me for my money. I ain't got no time for fake people like that. So, to anybody that's gonna be thinking of trying to do that to me, in any way, shape, or form, you have been warned. Whether I see through your bullshit lie or not is determines on how well you may or may not hide it. But still, yeah. Anyway, getting back to this. Well, actually, hold on a second. I'll be right back. I'm gonna check something real quick. Hold on. Because my family's asleep, so I'm gonna check on something. So I don't need to worry about pausing the video. Okay, I have returned. Let's see. Let's get right back into this. Actually, hold on. What time is it anyway? Alright, so this will be the last video before I end my stream. So yeah, let's get straight back into it.
Backstory. There was this player, Josh Warrior, who had joined our guild. He was, as one can easily deduce, a warrior. He was as terrible can be. Didn't know what a rotation was, couldn't gear properly. He was only like 11, so we let it slide, but his general inability to learn or even try to learn made his life as a guildmate short. The story. It was near the end of BC, and my druid tank wasn't very geared relative to endgame, so I would use him to help out new fresh guilds get through Kara, as I could sleep through any encounter and still maintain aggro and not really worry. I decide to help out this one guild, and who shows up? Josh Warrior. I lulled and continued on. My bear was indestructible. Vent was a fun conversation. Everyone was chill and thankful of my help. I don't really remember where we were in the raid when suddenly Josh Warrior flatly proclaims, "My dad just had a heart attack. I think he's dead." Progress comes to a stop.
What?
Holy shit, did he need to go help him? Did he want to leave? We get a replacement. No, the ambulance is here and my dog is really big. If I go out of my room, he'll definitely get out and attack the paramedics. The most awkward silence ever ensued, and we continued on through a few trash packs. Finally, their guild leader stops the raid and starts asking Josh how he's doing. Fine, I think he's dead. We can keep going now, I just want some loot. We finished the rest of the raid in near complete silence, except for me coordinating the encounters. I've never felt so awkward over Vent. Nobody else uttered a word. Every person from the guild whispered apologies and gave resounding thanks. That was, by far, the most memorable and fucked up raid ever. Was getting full-on cussed out by a kid easily around 5 or 6. He was literally saying, "Fuck you, you fucking cunt. I hope Satan bites your ass and his splooge gets in your shitty eyes, you stupid little ass fucker." So we started firing back at him with everything we had. We kinda made him cry. Then his mom gets on the mic and starts yelling at us. She's telling us how we are setting a bad example for her child, and we shouldn't be using that kind of language around someone his age.
Bruh! Let me guess. The supposed perfect little angel went back and tried to blame these other people for, blaming these other people for shit, right? Oh yeah, I'm like, ma'am, we don't even talk like that. your child's talking more shit. Like your child is talking more than himself than we are. Oh no, my son's a perfect little angel. Yeah, when he's around you, he may be, but without you, he's probably a little spawn Satan. That probably pissed him off.
So we went off on her too. Explained that her kid was being a sailor-mouthed little shit. She started yelling at us saying her kid can do whatever he wants. So we said that if he's going to talk shit like an adult, then he's going to have to get shit talked back to him like he's an adult. She gets even more pissed. This is the best fucking part. I'm still laughing about this. The fucking grandmother gets on the mic and starts spouting off to us. She's saying that her daughter is a fantastic mother and we need to leave them alone or she's going to call the police. We managed to piss a kid off so bad that we got yelled at by 3 generations of that family in the span of a few minutes. God, it was fantastic. For those of you that are curious, we were playing Advanced Warfare. TLDR pissed a kid off so bad that we got yelled at by 3 generations of his family. Raided with a gal during Blackwing Lair who had 2 kids around the same age. It'd be around 11 p.m. and we'd hear these elementary school-aged kids say stuff like, "Mommy, we're hungry." And she'd respond with, "Not now, Mommy's raiding." We booted her after a month though because she was an awful healer. Also, there was the off-tank during Black Temple that lived with his mother for cultural reasons. Every now and then we'd hear his mom start shouting at him in some North African language and he'd start shouting right back. Dude was a complete fuckwad and would not use push to talk. Real arrogant motherfucker, but a great tank that we had trouble replacing. And there was the terrible paladin who flat out refused to listen to any suggestions I made to him. So he ultimately got the boot once we were able to replace him. After he was G-kicked, he messaged the GM accusing him of discrimination and threatening to sue. Apparently the shitty paladin was in a wheelchair which absolutely no one was aware of, so what? Keep the stories coming, guys. I love reading all of these. So fucking fantastic to hear about all the crazies from other people who have raided a fair bit. For people wondering, I played on Whisperwind mostly. My raid group was pretty diverse. 2 guys from the Bronx, myself, and another from the UK, and a few from Norway, Finland, and 1 from Ukraine. We were pretty new to the game and hadn't cleared the final boss of a very tough raid yet, but we were coming close. One of the Bronx guys died straight away, lag issues constantly, but we'll never kick him. But proceeded to do a live freestyle rap about what each person was doing in the raid in lieu of a commentary. Shit was amazing. Wish we had recording software back then. Second was the Ukraine guy. Just signs on to TeamSpeak one day and says, "War is broken out, I won't be on for the raid." Laughs, signs out, and repeats the same message in-game to guildies who weren't on TeamSpeak. Kinda worried for a few weeks, but he eventually managed to contact one of us via our forum to say all was well and he'd move to a new and safer city with family while things die down. Can't wait for him to get back. His DPS was straight up demonic. Last week I was playing GTA Online in a heist with some kids. Youngest one was maybe 12 or 13 max. During a setup mission, his mom entered the room and told him to get off the Xbox. All he does is play games, etc. He told her he couldn't because he was almost done with an online mission and he would quit after. We finish the mission and start to queue up the finale. Someone asks if he needs to log off and he says, "Nah, I'll just tell her it's still the same mission." Mid-finale mission, static starts to come over the mic and it sounds like a scuffle. Then you hear him pleading, "No, please don't turn it off, you can't do this, there are other players, I can't quit, it'll end their game too." In a no fucks given, dead serious, angry mom voice, I hear, "Your dad is in jail because of you. We're going to lose our house because of you." Silence. Log off. A few minutes later, he was back in party chat. Sorry guys, we're having family problems and my mom gets like that. She's a salty cunt.
Damn!
I guess I would call it strange because I have never experienced.
Oh my god, bro. First and foremost, parents, always know that when a child is playing with a game and they say, I'm playing online, that means they're playing live with other people live on the game. They're playing online multiplayer. If something happens to them, chances are the other players involved may or may not have to be kicked out to reset it. You know? That's the thing. And number two, this mama really using her child as a scapegoat to explain what was going on in their personal life. She's a salty asshole.
Anything like it before or after this happened. I was playing an 8v8 in Halo 3. I had just started getting into the online world of it and was really enjoying myself. So I looked for a match and get sent to the lobby right before we went straight into the game. If I remember correctly, you would get to vote on what type of match and the map you wanted to play in. So as we do that, one of the guys starts a beat, then a second joins in the exact beat. I recognized it as the We Will Rock You by Queen beat. Then one of the guys starts to sing it. The next verse was someone else, and the song went on and on. I even pitched in. After we finished, no one even recognized what had happened, and normal chat continued. It was pretty cool, and it has never happened again since then. I tried to initiate it once or twice, but ended up making a fool of myself. So this was on Burnout 2. Maybe, I'm not sure. It was on Xbox Live. My wife is playing, and this little kid comes on and...
Dude, say what you want about Queen, that song literally slaps, okay? It's a good song, like, literally. Like, you don't even need to sing you know, like Queen. All you have to do is just do the beat, like... Just like that. That's all you have to do. Nothing more, nothing less.
Talking shit to her. She said something about, I'm gonna tell your mom. The kid's reply, my mom died in 9/11. My wife, without missing a beat, well, I'm glad something good happened on that day. The kid just starts bawling his brains out. Apparently he wasn't lying about that. My wife then spends the next 3 hours talking to the kid online like a mother. She played with him for half a year or so, helping him out with homework and different things in his life. Then one day he just vanished from online. My wife is now a PC gamer, but she makes me pay for Xbox Live, and she logs in once every month or so to see if the kid has been online. I want to say it's been 5 years, and she hasn't spoken to him. Back when Modern Warfare...
Damn. This is why you gotta watch what you say to kids. Seriously. I wonder what was going through that kid's mentality whenever they talked. After that little bit there, you know? But you always gotta watch what you say to kids, because kids don't take jokes like adults can. You know? Like, if a child may take a joke more seriously than an adult. So you always gotta watch what you say with a kid. Alright, just watch it.
It was in its heyday. I joined a lobby that happened to have a bunch of Brits queued together. When teams were made, they were all on one team, and my team was all random Americans. One of us says, oh, hey, it's funny how that happened. To which one of the Brits replies, shut up, you fat American pig. By God, it was on at that point. It was American Revolution Part 2. Freedom rings twice. To their... It was super close, but we wanted, no, needed to win so bad, we became a fine-tuned machine and began dominating. By the last 10 seconds of the match, we knew we won and began chanting, USA! 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 Over and over.
Oh, wow.
They tried to object, but our chants were too much and they left the lobby.
Wow.
I haven't found an experience like that ever again, but God, was it amazing.
Yeah. Wow, y'all took it so seriously you started chanting, USA! 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 Like, if they actually did do that, where they pounded their hand on the thing, like if they did that, that would have made it so much funnier, so much more funnier. Wow. Yeah, this was American Revolution, digital version. I now kind of want to see an American Revolution video game where you can actually choose to play as the Brits and the colonists. I would honestly pay money to see that. But you know what makes it so much more funnier? Is if for the American version you can only play as the Americans, and for the British version you can only play as the British. Just to rub it in. Just to be a bunch of dicks and rub it in. That the Americans won and the British lost. I'm just saying.
So I used to join Black Ops 2 lobbies and talk in my deep-ass bass voice. Had some guy ask me to call a phone number. For some reason, he thought I wouldn't do it. I did it. His friends were laughing, but he was telling me to just hang up. Whoever the chick was that answered was pissed off. Like, even before I called, who the fuck is this? And then some yelling that apparently picked up on the mic. That happened in the lobby. And the dude who told me to call just up and left. I kind of want to believe he got chewed out by his older sister or something because of me. Just to clarify though, I never said anything rude to her. I went in, hello there, I was told to call, then yelling, and then she hung up. I was playing Halo 3 with my brother one time when
Sorry about that, family member came in.
to call, then yelling, and then she hung up. I was playing Halo 3 with my brother one time when someone on the other team was 1 kill for 18 deaths or something similar. He was running around and shooting at people occasionally, but generally missing a lot and dying. Once the game is over, we end up in the post-game lobby with one person on the other team swearing at the guy that went 1 to 18. We hear a strange rustling noise followed by a rather drowsy sounding, Dude, what the fuck? How do you die 18 times and only get 1 kill? Sorry, dude. I fell asleep in the lobby. You were moving around. Well, it's only me and my cat here. TLDR, someone either blamed their cat for their terrible performance in Halo, or one of us got killed by a cat. A few years ago, I was in a Rift Guild with the strangest California desert hicks. This couple lived in the hills outside San Diego on some big piece of property with their kids and the guy's parents. They were actually decent enough of it.
I want to just stay for the record. Could you imagine how funny it would be if the cat actually was like, oh crap, Master's asleep. Let's play the game for him! You know, that'd be really funny. That'd be really funny, though. For real.
Desert hicks. This couple lived in the hills, or one of us got killed by a cat.
That'd be really funny.
A few years ago, I was in a Rift Guild with the strangest California desert hicks. This couple lived in the hills outside San Diego on some big piece of property with their kids and the guy's parents. They were actually decent enough of players. He was an especially solid tank, but damn if they didn't interrupt raid for the craziest of reasons. One week it was kid with a broken arm, the next the in-laws' roof was on fire. The frequency and kind of incident were always enough to make the rest of us wildly speculate about what the hell kind of living situation these people had. The best time they interrupted raid? Guys, we gotta take 20, the kangaroo's loose again. Playing a match of CSGO, I was Smurf locked, so it was one of those filthy casual games. There was a girl in the game who had a really hot voice and was acting all flirty anytime she killed someone or got killed. Okay, whatever. Then some dude tells her that she's made him horny. Great, now I gotta put up with this. It took a turn for the worse. The dude starts talking like a female phone sex operator and was actually really good at it. I don't get uncomfortable easy. I've been on the internet a long time, but my god, some dude talking dirty in my ear like a girl, moaning and shit, that was fucking weird. I was on a co-op mission on a World War II flight sim. There was a
I could see how. In a family to be the only person that was in here was like, yep, I'm weirded out, goodbye.
16 of us playing, and one guy was pretty wasted. We were cruising along on the way to the target area when suddenly we started hearing snoring. Loud snoring. Some guys started yelling, "Wake up!" but to no avail. And shortly after, we hear a loud crashing and rattling over comms, followed by a, "Oh, fuck, son of a bitch, I'm fucking bleeding." Guy passed out and smashed his head on the floor. Couldn't finish the mission because we were all laughing so hard.
Wow.
Was playing League while talking to some guys over TeamSpeak. Dude says he'll be right back, but leaves his mic on. Out of nowhere, you hear him and his dad getting into a massive fight. When the fight was nearly over, we heard the dad scream, "And why does your room smell like shit?" And the kid replied, "'Cause I shit in it." Dude hasn't been back on that TeamSpeak since.
Wow. Holy crap. Oh, wow. Yep. Yep. And with that, that's going to be the end of the stream. I know I told a friend of mine that I was going to go ahead and, talk to him, but I didn't realize what was going to happen, though. So, I want to go to bed now. I'll let him know about that. But yeah, I'm going to end the stream here, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed me watching more Reddit stories. Even though this one was a little bit more, so much more adult than the last time, especially with the last one section of, the last video of Reddit. So, yeah. But I said there could be potentially adult language or content being discussed. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't kidding. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, this is Forrest Walpole, signing off.